Hi kids, it's time for me to defend a movie that everybody seems to universally hate, and I don't think people are going to like it.
Do you believe in the stories about the Blair Witch?
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Scott and I'm your host today and every other day as I take you through movies in the world of horror, a little bit of horror news and anything else that I think you'd be interested in. Today I'm looking at Blair Witch from 2016, a super hated and underrated found footage sequel to one of the greatest films of all time. But before I get into that, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell so you know when I drop new videos. To talk about the Blair Witch from 2016, we need to talk about the Blair Witch from 1999. This movie was a phenomenon. It was an enigma, an anomaly in cinematic history because of when it was released. It was released early days internet when we still had dial-up. And if you don't know what dial-up is, it makes this noise. Ask your parents. This film was in a time when we couldn't communicate freely. We didn't have social media. We didn't have this open information highway that we have now, which allowed producers to tell lies, and big lies they did tell. And they told us that this was real. They told us that the cast were missing, presumed dead, and even created a documentary and fake website to show the investigation process of people searching for these missing children. That caused a hype like nothing in history. This was the most talked about thing on the planet, and everybody went to see it because they needed to see if the footage was real or if it was made up and make their own mind up on it. And man, it was a success. It cost $60,000 to make and they grossed over $250 million worldwide. That's over $10,000 back for every dollar they invested. It is one of the most financially successful films in history. So when it comes to making a sequel, you cannot recreate that. You simply cannot. And I'm going to mention the Blair Witch 2 Book of Shadows as an honourable mention in this video, purely for the fact that it's a weird, goofy slasher movie with loads of tropey characters that's set in the woods that has absolutely nothing to do with the Blair Witch Project. And I kind of commend them for going down that route because they didn't really have anywhere to go. Fast forward 2016 and Lionsgate wanted to have a crack at making a sequel. And this is arguably one of the most attacked and criticised sequel / soft reboots ever. And I think it's unjust. So the Blair Witch Project 2016, or Blair Witch as it's known, is a story that follows James, and James plays the younger brother of Heather Donahue, the girl who went missing in the original. And he has been searching online and doing some digging into where his sister went. And he stumbles across a video that's been uploaded to YouTube that shows footage in the house that we see at the end of the Blair Witch Project, and he believes has a glimpse of an older Heather. He thinks he's found his sister. So he gathers together a couple of his friends and off into the woods they go, off into the Black Hills Forest. But they're not like the original. The original cast were very, very stupid. They went in with a compass and a map. Like, not even two maps, just a map and a compass. Whereas it's 2016, times have moved on. We're going in with a sat phone, we're going in with a drone, and we're going in with a walkie-talkie so we can communicate with each other. And I think that adds a whole nother element to this, that they are aware that the woods are fucking dangerous, and they're also aware that they need to stay in communication, they need to know where they are, and having the drone gives them the ability to go up in the sky and go, oh, we're here, we need to go over there, or fly their drone a mile that way and see if there's a road. Like, you remember in the original where they walked an entire day? No, not in this. Pick up a drone, fly it for 10 minutes, go, right, there's nothing that way, it's just woods, we need to go that way. All of that's really, really clever. I also like the fact that when they're in the woods, they meet up with another couple, and the other couple claim to be the ones who found the footage that they uploaded to YouTube. Also really, really cool. I love the fact that this pays tribute to the original by giving us the same eerily shot stuff at night. You get the bangs and the cracks and the children's cries, and you get them freaking out, and you get the piles of rocks and the stickmen. You get all the stuff you had in the original, and again, it's really, really cool. This movie also forges its own path by introducing a time loop, which is so cool. And when they put it in perspective of how that would work for the Blair Witch Project, it makes that movie seem so much more clever than it actually was. Now, this movie gets so much criticism, and all of the criticism centers around the fact that it doesn't hold up to the original. And I disagree. It does everything the original done. Now, people will say that this relies heavily on cheap jump scares and not the sort of intense building of fear from the original. And they're right. But that intense building of fear, we established this earlier, we all believed it was real. So we had that pit in our stomach when you see this young girl screaming for her life, going, "What is that? What is that?" Like, we were genuinely afraid. We're not going to be afraid watching that in 2016. They needed to do something else to get that response from us. And there are a couple of jump scares in here. And I'll be honest, two of them are really good, really well earned, and really well built up. It's like there's a fake out, then there's another fake out, then bam, they get you. There are some negatives to this. And the negative, I think, is the biggest for me, is the fact we see the Blair Witch. We actually get to physically see her on screen, and it's not great. Like, the whole thing about the Blair Witch Project was that we didn't see anything, and that's what made it scary. Where in this, they tried to up the ante and go, well, there's the witch, but it was never going to live up to what we had in our heads as level of fear. I also didn't like the fact that there are elements of CGI in this that make me go, ugh, what's that? And it didn't need it. It didn't need that level of additional input. Like the Blair Witch premise, in the woods at night, noises around, bangs and bumps. You go and end up stood in a corner. That's me in the corner, which they do in this, also cool. And you die. Like, that's what you needed, just in a more modern setting. And they've done that to the most part, but there are things in here that didn't work. That being said, this is the only sequel that is worthy to the Blair Witch Project. Book of Shadows is not it. This is. And I wish people would give it more credit. I really do. And I'd love to know what you think. Like, are you one of the people who bashes this to death, who thinks this is awful? Or are you, like me, one of the minority who think that this is a great movie that's massively underrated and tragically attacked for no reason? Let me know in the comments. And until next time, have a wonderful week. I'll see you guys soon.